Happy America Day, everyone, and if you're not in the States, well, happy Saturday. To celebrate this occasion, I thought instead of going on top of Mount Rushmore and blowing up stuff, we could instead partake in a little different American tradition that includes making a bunch of noise outside. Aside from that, we can show off a bunch of random hunks of Chinese plastic that I've accumulated over the years. Yes, this is a Twisty puzzle, Rubik's Cube, puzzle thing collection. And this is the OG. Not only is it the Rubik's Cube, but it's my first Rubik's Cube, I think. 10 plus years I've had this thing. It's got those lovely old school Rubik's stickers that, the ones that didn't actually want to be on the cube, so they always fell off. And, yeah, put WD-40 in it, which is not a good sign. It's usually why this happens. But, give the old girl a whirl now and again. But I will say that before that, I actually think the first cube I ever touched, the first one I ever took home, I guess, was a Keychain Cube that I won at a church Paris festival. It was a real one, I think, like an actual Rubik's one. It wasn't this one. This one's way too not that old. But yeah, Keychain Cubes are cool. I have a couple of them. I got this one, which is probably a random knockoff one. Doesn't have the, because hey, red, white, and blue, but doesn't have the correct color scheme, although it ironically turns better than this one. And then there's this one, which I actually remember, I think I picked this up at a thrift store in like the middle of March. And I saw it there, and the thing about a Rubik's Cube is, of course, like anyone logically would, you pick it up and you immediately try to solve it. So I'm sitting there, and I always struggle with these picture cubes. I don't know what it is, but, I'm trying to make the little elf man, and then his eyes are upside down, and he's screaming, "Ah, help me!" And I'm like, oh no, and so I'm trying to fix him, and it took me, I'm sitting there for 20 minutes trying to solve this thing, and it's like, yeah, you better buy the stupid thing. If you're standing there for 20 minutes, all these volunteers looking at you like you're nonsense, which you kind of are. But the one thing I found out about this thing recently is, look at that. I genuinely thought this was one of those weird, can't figure out where it came from ones, but apparently it's actually really well made, so it makes sense. Those are the keychains. Going off from there, basically you do the 3x3, right? Well, what do you want to do? It's like, you know what? I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for the 2x2. Oh dear, yes. This is a classic little bite you in the butt kind of thing, because it looks substantially easier than the 3, but the real secret, this is maybe about 30% easier, because the thing is, all this is this with the middles taken out. You still have to solve the corners like you would a regular Rubik's Cube. This particular one, I think, it's one of the super fast, speedy ones that people like. I think it's Lan. You can see, because it's actually a 2x2, a 3x3 and 2x2 skin, so that's its dirty little secret in there. These are really cheap. They're like $5. I'd highly recommend, if you want to do a 2x2, highly recommend one of these, and maybe not one of these, because these are more expensive, unless you do what I did and buy this also at a thrift store for like 50 cents. And they don't turn as nice, because this one you can go like that. It's like, ooh, right? Especially if you're, have the attention span of a cat, and you're like, oh my goodness, and you're easily amused by everything. You just do weird corner cutting like this. This is a Rubik's 2x2. I don't know what else to say about that. Here's another Rubik's 2x2. This one actually looks really cool. They called this the Ice. And it is actually cool like ice, because this is sort of like one of those old like Game Boys, that had the like the clear shell around it so you could see all the innards. And it's like you barely pay attention to that, yet it looks really cool. This unintentionally is one of the coolest looking puzzles, because it actually looks icy. Like it looks like, I'm burning my hands from cold, or however that works. I don't know. Science is hard, but my hands are freezing, I guess I should say. it really does look like this iced over, which is neat. And then we have this one, which is the Junior. I think it's the Junior. It says it's somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Rubik's Cube Junior. This one is a little devil, from what I remember. I haven't attempted to solve this in a while because I actually broke it somehow, and it falls apart occasionally. Who knows? You think all you got to do is solve the green side and the monkey, and then the rest is pink. But actually, this isn't discolorization. I'm pretty sure where the Rubik's logo goes is actually different than the other pink sides. So you think you did it. This one teases you. It tricks you into thinking you did it. And it's like, ha-ha! Not really. So yeah, but that's 2x2s. I really like a good 2x2. Highly recommend this one. It's nice and big too. Get your meat hooks around it, and they're a lot of fun. So that's them. I'm throwing these into the box of doom, by the way, so if you hear all the clunking, that's what that is. Then we make the step, did the 2, did the 3. Am I ready for the 1? I don't know, the 1 has instilled fear into the hearts of many for many, many generations. It's confused geniuses of its time, and it's also made out of a Rubik's Cube that I sawed the corner piece off and then put Mighty Putty over it and then repurposed the stickers, which is why they're falling off. You'll see what cube I ended up making this out of, but yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing this in a video. Forgot which video, but I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I first got into puzzles in like 7th grade, so you're going to hear that voice come back a lot just as a warning. But yeah, it's got a little Billy Mays tribute, and it's everything you need. I actually do like this one just out of the fact that I somewhat made it, and it's silly and Billy Mays, so. Oh, and then there's this one. You know, this one isn't too hard. It only makes me hate myself every time I try to solve it. Yeah, this is the 4x4. I think this is called the Revenge from Rubik's, which is so appropriately titled, because it really is the Revenge. What makes the 4 so much harder than the 3 is you get this thing called parity, which are all these cases that can't happen on a regular 3x3. So, way you solve this, actually, so here's the secret. So, if you don't want the spoiler, just plug your ears and go la 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 for a little bit. When you jumble it up, what you got to do is you actually got to solve these little middle bits, so it actually creates the centerpieces of the Rubik's Cube, and then you solve it like you would a normal Rubik's Cube. But you get these weird parity cases from doing that, from fixing all the edges, from actually solving it like a regular 3x3, because when you do that, you get all this weird stuff that doesn't normally happen. It's scary, and it takes forever, and this one isn't very nice, but I also don't like I don't like 4x4s, so I don't have any more. I remember as a kid, everyone liked Ishin. They probably don't exist anymore. God, I'm such an old man. But that's that. But I was obsessed as a kid, as I've alluded to. And so I was like, yeah, I can do the 4 with a note sheet. So I am ready. I am ready for the almighty 5x5. And I will show you my original 5x5. As you can see, I've used it once or twice. It doesn't quite turn like it used to. It's a little crunchy. I don't know what it is. This was one of those random eBay purchases. I think it was $5 on eBay for this much plastic and this many parts. Should have been suspicious, but you know, when you're a little 12-year-old, you're like, oh no, puzzles! Yay! And then you sit there and cry why the thing pops. That's why this thing is in pieces, because people talk about popping, so if you don't know what popping is, it's like when you're solving it and then literally the pieces pop out. This does not pop, this explodes. Like you're solving it and then it just and turns into this. So I thought this would be a better home for it than me actually trying to fix it, because it takes forever to put this back together. It's like a Lego that takes you forever, and then some a-hole, like right when you're putting the final piece on, just smashes it on the floor. And that's what the 5x5 is in general. It's a little bit better than the 4x4. And I can tell you because I have a working one here. One that's very infamous. our dear friend, I think this is the professor, getting cool with all the names. A lot of little cube kids will tell you this is the worst 5x5. It probably is. It's really big, it's really heavy, it's really crunchy, as you can hear. You can do this, which is kind of cool. 5x5s are a little bit better than 4x4s because the centers are fixed, so you don't get a lot of those really weird parity cases that you would with a 4x4. That being said, I still don't have a great time when I solve these. Like, I'm not a big speed guy, so I'm not sitting there trying to, like, you know, jam it out and do it as fast as I can. I like weird puzzles, as you're about to see. So people think they want to see me do this. People see me do the 3x3 or talk about it. It's like, oh, dude, I bet you can't do the big one. And it's like, oh, well, I probably can. And then I'm sitting there like this. It's like, all right, you ready? Drum roll, please. Okay, so, yeah, that's, oh, wait, no. Maybe, this. And then after about 20 minutes of this, they leave. And then they come back the next day and I'm still doing it. It's just not a good experience for everyone. But you know what would be a good experience? Would be watching one of these be solved by the world's record Magic Cube champion, Felix Zemdex. Oh yeah! I don't have the camera tilted nearly high enough to fit all this, but for now you're gonna be sideways, Felix. Yeah. World's record Magic Cube. It's not just yours, it's the world's. So fun fact, I think this is the exact same one as this. This came in a generic bag. I couldn't tell you who it is, but I'm pretty sure it was a YJ. So I've just kept it in this package. You may ask, why do I even have this? Well, I actually bought this on a boat in Denmark. Or Germany, because it was a boat mark. It was a boat going from Denmark to Germany. And I had a bunch of Danish kroner, and I needed to get rid of it. And oh, look, Rubik's Cube! And I just kept it in the box, because I think the box is really funny. And plus, as we've discussed, these are best kept in the packaging. So, here she is. Or here he is, I guess I should say. Also, I absolutely love this. You can see that they put a little YJ logo on his cube, which probably isn't actually a YJ, if I had to guess. But you never know. Felix is about to come for me for dissing his sponsor. Now time for something completely different, and for a little intermission. For two cubes that seem like they have absolutely no relation to each other, but they do. This, and this. Alright, so this is, I guess, a 2x2. It's what would be called a Siamese Cube, which are two or more cubes that are conjoined together to form this little thing here. I was going to say deformity, but not exactly PC. This is actually really fun. It's a fun little thing to solve, because I like me a good 2x2, and this is like two 2x2s, so it's double the fun. And you could go like this, if I can get it to work. Yeah! You can just do this, and I do this more than actually solving it, to be honest. I solve this specifically so I can do this, which is the real fun. Then there's the Sudoku Cube. This thing is from hell. I don't want to talk about it. It's just terrible. I can't even get close. What is the relation? I bought these both in Minnesota, and by Minnesota I mean Mall of America. There was this weird novelty shop hanging out above the theme park, which I have to say, so very quick Mall of America, really rant. They make it out like this mall that's so fabulous that it has a theme park in it, but really what it is, it's an indoor theme park that just so happens to have a mall attached to it. And you think it's, oh, well, it's still this giant mall, there's so many cool shops. Really all it is, it's the same shops you would get in a regular mall, just more of them. So there are cool little novelty shops, right? I mean, I haven't seen these anywhere else, but I also remember there being like 4 GameStops and like multiple of the same restaurant and all that nonsense. And so, I don't know, maybe it's different now. Maybe it's the world's greatest mall, but all I remember is they had a cool theme park, which used to be a Knott's Berry Farm, and now it's Nickelodeon, and about it. That's those two. I guess now we can look at my variety of random 3x3s. We looked at some small little keychain cubes, but how about small not keychain cubes? The world's smallest cube, which actually isn't really the world's smallest cube. Don't tell Rubik's that, though. Yeah, we've seen cubes that are the size of a dime. I mean, smaller than a dime, really. Teeny tiny ones that probably, I mean, you need like forceps or tweezers to turn them. But in terms of production, this is probably one of the smaller ones. It's neat. It's, you know, put it in your pocket. You can pop it, which I don't know why I like to pop it, but I do. Oh, it's struggling now because it knows its fate. Yeah. So, that's a good old pop. I guess if you got little hands, there you go. Don't give it to a child. They'll probably eat it. They'll definitely eat the pieces if they don't eat the whole thing. But yeah, it's small, it's stiff, and it's a teeny Rubik's Cube. From there, this is one of the oldest Rubik's Cubes that I have. It's this old fruit cube. This is a really rare model. It's the very rare missing piece version. This seems like a fault, but it's not. It actually is special edition, one in the world, actually. Yeah, the piece may have fell in the trash, but no! Exclusive, one in the world. What can I say? It's a fruit cube. I've had it almost as long as I've had this one, which I stopped putting in the box because I keep pulling it out. And I like it. Unfortunately, yeah, this. And I also put WD-40 in it. From there, this is another older one that I had, which I did not put WD-40 in. I totally forgot what this thing was called, but it's really springy if you can't hear it. And it's real shiny on one side, and it's cool. I want to say they called this the Professional Cube or something, but I don't think that's right. It had some fancy pants title to it. It's all professional because it's like black and gray colors. It looks like a Men's Warehouse, and with mirror included. I like it. Again, it's not one that I solve all the time. It's nice to have in the box. You know, someone pulls it out because you can, in fact, have friends and be into this. It is possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. And, you know, someone pulls it out, and they're like, oh, wow, look at that. And then you put it back in the box. But there you go. Serves its purpose. Oh, this is actually one. I always forget that I have this, but it's so cool. And it's so... I guess it sort of came back. I don't think they make this anymore. This is the 30th anniversary wooden edition of the Rubik's Cube. I don't really know why it exists. I do recall hearing that the first Rubik's Cube was made of wood, and that might be part of it. This one's dirty little secret, which you can't see, is it's not actually wood. These blocks are wood, but the inside of them is actually plastic. So, you know, save some money. But I really love this one because what they did is they printed these clear stickers and they just put it over the wood. So it actually looks like a proper wooden cube. And look at it. It looks very, very modern. Like, you know, you go to like a, you know, $10 a cup coffee shop. Like, you would definitely expect to see one of these sitting on the coffee table right next to, I don't know, a book on intelligence. Who knows? But I like this one. It turns all right. It's not like a speed cube or anything, but it's, you know, it's nifty. It's a nice little coffee table piece that sits around and collects dust. A real-life speed cube in a Rubik's Cube collection video. Woo! Yeah, here's the first and probably only one. I have no idea what this is. It's a Diane, so it's probably either a Guhong or a Zhanchi. I think it's an early Guhong. This is actually a gift. Someone gave it to me in high school. It's another kid who was really into cubes, and we would, hurts me to say this, we would cube together. When you're real popular like that, you know, you just do those sorts of things. And yeah, I've had this for a while. I don't want to say many years because I'm not that old, you know, 50 at heart. But yeah, it's a Guhong or a Zhanchi. It turns real well. I highly recommend one of these. These are actually cheaper than these. I'm pretty sure you can get these for under $10 on Amazon. And they turn real nice because they have little torpedoes that go into the middle, so they whirl around. Oh, here's this one's new relative. This is sort of the new model of the Rubik's brand. It's a redesigned mechanism. It's a lot more e, which I actually like. I like that kind of noise that they make. Other than that, it's really, yeah, it's about that. I like the tiles. They're better than this crap. And it's neat. A lot of people diss this thing. You know, it serves its purpose. It's not a speed cube, but if you want a speed cube, just get a die-in. Here we have the most important group in the bunch. The random dollar store cubes that are about to go away. Okay, from there, I guess we can talk about weird 3x3 variations with one of my favorites. The good old mirror blocks, aka the bump cube. So this is a Japanese invention, and the idea behind this is it's basically what's called a shape mod. So what was done is the pieces were basically shifted, which is why it got the name of bump cube, because it kind of looks like you bumped into a Rubik's cube and it went whoa and just extended out in any direction. This ended up being picked up by Rubik's in Japan through, I think, a company called Megahouse, and it became known as the mirror blocks. But it was only in Japan. So you could import these for a while. They actually weren't too much for an import, but little old me who really wanted a mirror block. So I looked at, I looked at me. Well, I did kind of look at me with this. I looked at these and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get one. And so I did for $5 on eBay through Hong Kong Express 3001. That came in a generic package with bubble wrap and a stamp. And I was like, oh, is this a real Mega House one? I can't tell. I don't know. Yeah, it also reeked of fumes. It's not as bad as before, but oh boy, I don't know what was going on in that factory, but this thing smelled just, oh god. I mean, it's like you got a disease every time you touched it. But there is a solution that is, as far as I know, disease-free. Because Rubik's got their act together, and they actually started importing a lot of the Mega House Japanese puzzles to America, and this was one of them. This is the colored variant, so or multicolored variant. They sell both of these actually, so a real one of these, you can go away now. And then this is actually a white elephant gift, so thank you, White Elephant, for that. I like it. It turns well. I like it more than the mirror blocks, not just because it doesn't give me diseases, but it, I don't know, it's easier to tell what it's doing. Like this one, like you turn it, and it's like, okay, that's neat, but it's such an odd-looking thing to begin with that it's sort of like, well, you just expect it to be weird. But this is just a weird-looking Rubik's Cube, because it's colored, like an actual Rubik's Cube, so you do this, and you're just like, oh, whoa! And it turns nice. I really like solving this one. You see, this is more the thing I'm into, and it's like equally, if not more impressive than that silly 5x5. It doesn't cause me a heart attack and a stroke every time I try it. From there, we got another Japanese Rubik's puzzle from a different designer, the one and only Void Cube. So this, I forgot the full name, but I know the last name was Akamoto. Originally known as the Void Cube, this actually looked a lot like a regular Rubik's Cube, just with the centers missing. Because as you can see, whoa, man, yeah, you can look straight through it. So this was a Japan-only puzzle for a while. It was really, really hard to get a real one of these, of the original Japanese puzzles. They were hard to come by, you had to import them, and so a lot of people were buying these knockoff versions. Rubik's, because they're cool, was like, hey man, we'll make your puzzle for real, and we'll ship it internationally. So I believe they worked with him, I believe it's a him, to develop this, to develop a more refined version of it. So it's more of a sphere, turns real nice. It used to turn nicer, but it decided to seize up because, it sat in a box forever. I'm a man, and I can admit that this thing has really annoying parity, just like the 4x4. It's so cool that it gets a pass, but I still forget this every single time. I write it down, I forget, I lose the sheet. I probably should put it on my phone, but then I forget where it's on my phone. the summary is that I'm lazy and I don't want to solve it. So that's that. But if you're not lazy and you do want to solve it, really, really worth a check out. They're like $15 if that. And I think they make a newer version of it too, I think. From there, actually, let's keep talking about Okamoto, because this was another one of his really famous puzzles, the Floppy Cube. So this is a 1x3x3. So it looks like someone just took one of these and just shaved its head off, or shaved its side off. Man, that was gruesome. But ended up with this, and this was a puzzle that a lot of people thought was just impossible. You couldn't make one of these. Well, what was figured out is what you can do is to make the mechanism work is you have the centers bend like this, which is so brilliant. Like, I would have never thought of that. Like, it's sort of like, oh, you don't make the plastic bend. That's bad. But it makes this work. I mentioned knockoffs. This is a knockoff. Don't know where it came from. Maybe it's YJ. But as you can see, the build quality is exceptional. But I was browsing around a toy store, like many of the world's greatest single people in their early 20s do, without children, and I stumbled upon this. Oh, Rubik's, you did it. You frickin' did it. We have it. We have the Floppy Cube in the flesh, but not just the Floppy Cube. We have... I totally forgot how this thing works. Oh yeah, we have the Super Floppy Cube! Yeah, so Okamoto revised the design. I think it was Okamoto. Revised the design, and so it doesn't... The pieces don't flip anymore, or they don't bend. But what they do is they can twist, they can do this, whoa, and it's real neat. It's very easy. You can figure out how to solve this in probably like a day, maybe less, even if you've never touched one of these. It's more like a novelty. You can just do weird things like this with it, and it's really fun and really amusing. A puzzle for me always got to turn well, and this one turns real nice. And it's a real Floppy Cube, and it's under $10, and it's cool, and you should look at it. And twist it, too. From there, we have one I made myself, because I'm a genius. And by made myself, I mean 3D print and then attempt to sticker, but I got really lazy with the stickers, so I did one side. This is a 1x2x3. This is another one. I actually was going to make one of these, like, out of Rubik's Cube parts. I think it was Red KB had a video on how to do that. And I was like, whoa, dude. But I'm glad I didn't, because this one I 3D printed, and it probably turned out better than that would have turned out, and it's still, like, out of control. Like, this thing is amazing. So it prints in one piece. So you literally just pull it off the printer just like this. And it looks like it's about to break at any given moment, but it's so sturdy. Like, it just doesn't. Like, look at this! But it's like, haha! It just hangs on to dear life, and you can't break this thing. I'm ready to jinx it and just destroy it, but it doesn't want to die. Which is nice, because I don't want it to die either. It's cool. I need to finish stickering it. Yeah. Here's another one. This is the 3x3. This I think is a QJ? I have no idea. It's yeah, QJ Magic Cube. So there's YJ, QJ, LJ, who knows? LL Cool J. Every different puzzle under the sun. This is another one that I have to admit I forget how to solve. I used to solve this all the time. This is often known as the Domino. I used to solve this constantly, and then I just forgot, and I lost my sheet, and I just can't be bothered now. This is another one that's very buttery. It's, ooh, yeah, feel that. I bet you can feel that through the screen. Oh, yeah. It's not too difficult. I'd say you have to know, like, some 3x3 theory in that, but overall, it's definitely worth checking out. I don't remember this being horribly expensive, so it's definitely one to check out. I mentioned my 1x1 and how where I got the parts from. It was this monster. So This is a professionally crafted Siamese Cube. And by professionally crafted, I mean something that I super glued together in such a wrong way that I had to actually break it apart. I always wanted a Siamese Cube, and so I decided to make a Siamese Cube. It turns out that I made the really hard version, because there's an easier version, which is either like the 2x2 that I showed, or you pull this out one and over. So it's just one of them has pieces taken out instead of both of them. But this is the one that I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, I totally got this. And then it turns out I totally don't got this. I solved it maybe once or twice with a tutorial, and it still took me, you know, weeks of sitting in the basement and just, you know, growing out a giant Gandalf beard, and still, for what? I did make this out of 2 Rubik's brands. I know I'm nuts. You shouldn't do anything nearly this expensive. Or use anything nearly as expensive, because this is back when those were like $15, so I was really in when I did this, but yeah, I was also like 12, so, you know, thinking really well. So I got one more in terms of the Cuboids, as I believe they're called, which is this big old thing. Another one that I can't be bothered to solve, or at least like, you need to just sit down and try it. This, I think, is called the Cross or the X or something. You can actually find this at Barnes & Noble. Let me tell you, Barnes & Noble is the plug for, like, total impulse buy, like, crazy puzzles. I've got even a couple more here that were, I think, Barnes & Noble purchases. And these things are nonsense. This is actually a gift, I think. So, thank you for the gift. It's big, it's mean, and it's got some green. And yeah, it actually does shapeshift. I might have to do this. You see, this is the problem with this setup, but see, you can do things like that with it. Pretty impressive mechanism, as you can see. And yeah, I'm afraid to shapeshift it, because it's going to be hard enough to try to solve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Rubik's Cubes without having them all jumbled, scrambled around cyberspace or whatnot. So here's, yeah, that's that one. Now we're getting into the funny shaped ones. All the funny shaped twisty puzzles, which are my absolute favorite. Which one should I show? Well, how about the classic one? Rubik's longtime rival. It has only 4 sides, and it is, in fact, the Pyraminx. So the Pyraminx is weird. I think it technically predates the Rubik's Cube, but there's like kind of a condition as to why it does. I think it might have been the first released, or it might have been the first invented. I can't remember. But, so when Errol Rubik was doing his cube, Yui Meffert was doing his pyramid. And, it's a neat little thing. This is a real Meffert's one. Meffert's is kind of the go-to. Meffert's actually founded, like, big boxes now, which is really cool. Meffert's is, like, kind of Rubik's big competitor, I guess. I guess they are now. Although, I say that, but if you go onto Rubix.com, they actually sell Meffert's puzzles there. So, maybe it's a friendly competition. I don't know. But, yeah. This one's cool. It's made up of triangles. And it is a triangle. And, it's actually very nice turning for a Pyraminx. These things get loose after a while, and this one has stayed nice and tight throughout the years. It's real easy to solve it. It's like 1,000,000 times easier than a Rubik's Cube, and that is a scientific fact. Not really, please don't sue me. But that's still a scientific fact. And it's fun. Yeah, I like me a good Pyraminx. Speaking of minxes, we have another one. A Megaminx. Oh boy. This is another one I absolutely love. The only problem is the stickers don't love me. They keep falling off, and good God, is this a terrible thing to have to resticker. So, I just kind of let it go, unless I can maybe find a sheet just for yellow and this purplish. Yeah, this is the 12-colored Megaminx, because this is a 12-sided puzzle. There's actually 6 colored ones, or 6-sided, I believe they're called. So it'd be like same colors up here as there are down here. I love this puzzle though. It's really heavy. It's really expensive. It's like $35. It's a lot of plastic, but there's something so weirdly satisfying by the way it turns. Like just, Oh dear. Oh, yeah. Feel that. It's stiff, but it's a good stiff, you know? Like, it's just real sturdy. It's like, oh, that's not sturdy. But this is sturdy. And I like it quite a bit. I recommend it, just the stickers suck. Hopefully they're better. I've heard the tile Megaminxes are like absolutely terrible, but that was also 10 years ago, so you never know. Yeah, this actually solved a lot like a 3x3, by the way, so don't be discouraged if you think it's too hard. Oh, we got another Meffert's puzzle. Say that 5 times fast. I bet you it's easy, I just can't speak English. This is a classic one. This is the Skewb. Skewb's been around for a while. It does this, it's really clicky. What you're hearing is actually not coming through your speakers or your headphones. It's actually coming from my house because this thing is just so loud. Can you hear me? Yeah. But that's part of what makes it fun, is people pick this one up. This is another one that people pick up, and it's like Pandora's box, you know, trying to figure out how this stupid thing even turns. Try to do this. I bought the thing, and I couldn't even figure out how to turn it. It took me forever to figure out it was like this, so it kind of goes in these rings. It's neat. It's an easier one to do. I know the records are like insane on like how fast people can solve these. But it's nice. It has these vinyl stickers, so you can go scratch out a little track as you're solving this. Wicka wicka wicka. I'm white, I know. But the Skewb is actually a really popular puzzle with puzzle modders, people who make things like the Bump Cube, for example. And one of the mods that have come out recently-ish, I guess recently in terms of the Skewb, is the Skewb Extreme! Yeah, it's pretty extreme, ain't it? And it's made up of X's. This is a Tony Fisher puzzle. Huge shout out to Tony Fisher, one of the really big, I guess, modders, Twisty puzzle modders. I don't know the exact name for him. Puzzle designer from England. Came up with the Fisher's Cube and I think a lot of Skewb mods, and this is one of the, I think, my favorites. One of my favorite puzzles. This thing, oh dear. This puzzle, it's a little bit easier to understand than a Skewb, but it's also a million times harder because, once again, how do you turn it? Once you figure out how to turn it, okay, it's a little bit more clear to see what's happening, but all this, it's so hard to explain how this thing is solved. Like, I'll solve it, and everyone's like, oh, no, you didn't. And then you show them this, and it's like, oh! At least that's how it is in my head. I show them this, and it's like, oh, well, you still haven't solved it. That's cool. You haven't solved it. But I like it, and everyone else likes it too. It's a fun little puzzle, and let me tell you something. If you want to handle population control, if you think there's too many people out there in the world, just hand everyone one of these and have them turn it, and let me tell you, there won't be much need for making babies. Let me let me just put it that way, because oh jeez. Anyway, good thing I'm not a YouTube partner anymore, because this thing's about to get demonetized. But we have, I guess, the final two of the weirdly shaped twisty puzzles. One of my all-time favorites. I've had this since middle school. You know it. I know it. We all love it. It is the Gear Cube, aka the Caution Cube, another Meffert's puzzle from Oscar van Dijventure. Thank you for watching. From Netherlands. This puzzle does that, and it is one of the weirdly most amusing things you will ever find in your life. Look at it. Look at it. This was called the Caution Cube because when Oscar was developing this puzzle, he went like that and hurt his finger. It's odd because you could tell it's a Rubik's Cube, but then you see this, it's like, this thing, like I'm telling you, screw the 3x3, screw the 2x2, screw the 1x1. Yeah, I said it. Screw the 1x1. This is the most amazing party trick puzzle you will ever find. Okay? This, you show this to people, and it is just minds blown. People are, oh my god, I can't believe you can even turn that. You can solve it. You're a genius. in my head, I've gotten dozens of numbers from it, and it's fantastic. Here's the secret. This is one of the easiest Twisty puzzles you will ever solve, and that is a fact. Easier than Megaminx, probably easier than the 1x1. It's because everything happens in twos, and so you can solve. Like, you could probably learn how to solve it in an hour, and solve it continuously after an hour. But there's an upgrade you can get for this, which you can actually find in Target, which I know because I bought it at Target. Oh, wait, hold on. There we are, because it's a ball. Look at it. This is a revision of the Keychain Cube. I believe this is another Oscar puzzle. I think his name is on here somewhere. I don't know. Oh, here it is, hiding in orange. The problem with this one is it's real nice, but man, it doesn't turn too nice. But this one, oh, if you thought the Skewb was preventing babies. Oh! Listen to that. Look at it. This is one of the best turning puzzles I've ever used. It's so much fun. It made this from one of my favorite puzzles to probably my favorite puzzle ever. I love the thing to death. It's equally as easy, and it's even cooler looking. This is actually based on a Tony Fisher mod, where, I don't know if you can see, but you see these little crown pieces? These are black on this version, so they're just part of the mechanism. But it was figured out that you could actually put stickers on these, and it adds a little challenge to solving it. So this is like, I guess, the step up from this. So instead of a 2x2, it's a 1x2, I suppose. Or, sorry, instead of a 1x1, it's a 1x2. You know, English. Anyway, love this. This is one, if I have to recommend anyone, this one, 100%. You can get them at most retailers. It's 20 bucks. Totally worth it. All right. I know if you're still alive after watching this, we are on the final round, which are puzzles that aren't really Twisty puzzles, but here they are anyway. They're neat. They're either Rubik's Cube related or other puzzles. So I guess the first set that I'll show off, so the Rubik's brand, I guess, went on a little bit of a tangent about like 10 years ago. I've always been a big supporter of them. They do things like the wood cube and now have been partnering with a lot of people to make a lot of really cool Twisty puzzles more accessible, which is great. But back in the day, they basically made the Rubik's Cube and a bunch of weird stuff that was kind of related to the Rubik's Cube, like overpriced USB sticks, for example. And here's an example of that. It's not an overpriced USB stick, but it might as well be. Rubik's Revolution, I think this is called. Yeah, there it is. 30th anniversary. Look at that. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. I could try to put batteries in it, but that's effort. What you do is the lights turn on, you push the lights in, you play little games. It's not really a puzzle, but it's there. But it's part of this weird, like, you know, Rubik's wasn't really making Rubik's Cubes. They were making things that looked like Rubik's Cubes. Where in actuality, I mean, I think I can't think of a better thing for them to be doing besides, where are they? Come on. I don't think I could think of a better thing than, you know, this. This is what they should be doing, not this. And it's great that we're back to this, because now we're getting a bunch of cool puzzles that were really hard to get, and now they're accessible for everyone. But, going on to this, we have sort of the piece de resistance of that whole era, the height of it. Look at this. It's a real live touch cube. Yep. I think it was called the Touch or something. Basically what this was is I think it was a partnership between this company, again, Technosource. And what it is, you turn it on and the lights beam up, and it is a Rubik's Cube, but it's not just a Rubik's Cube, it's a touch cube. Ooh, and what that means is you drag your finger across and it goes and it turns the side. It's heavy, it can barely hold a charge, it makes way too much noise, it only works if you go like this across, you can't hold it from the side, the touchscreen barely works, and I have two of them because I absolutely love this thing. It's so stupid and so out there, but there's something so satisfying about it, especially about, like, closing all the curtains so you just get a tiny bit of light in, you know, on a hot afternoon, and you're just the light from it and everything is just, there's something about it. And plus it charges. I know, I'm the world's most easily amused man. I get it. But this thing also solves itself when it's charging, and it's fantastic. And fortunately, this one doesn't work anymore. It's been pretty sunbaked. Pandora cat peed on it, but let's just say it was sunbaked. And yeah, but I don't know. It's stupid, but that's kind of the point for me. But let's talk about, if we're talking about childhood memories, let's talk about something that I devoted way too much of my life to. Ye old Rubik's Magic. So, what this is you got some rings and you gotta make them hooked. And the way you make them hooked is you go like this. Yeah, thank you. And then what you do is you do a little magic trick. You rub your hands together, you spin around 3 times, and then voila! Good magician never reveals his secrets, except for a couple videos I made revealing how to do this. Yeah, I remember, I think I saw this on a TV ad, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, so I picked one up. I think this is a Toys R Us buy. Actually, so was the Rubik's JR, now that I remember it. The Rubik's Jr., excuse me. I remember someone called it. I saw it in a video where someone called it the Rubik's JR, and I've just been calling it that ever since. So, thanks. Maybe it was Jim Ross. But, I was addicted to this thing as a kid. I would just sit there and just, as fast as I could. I think I may have gotten a sub 2-second time, which I know seems really impressive, but, you know, I'll just leave it at that. It's really impressive. It's the best time ever. The problem with this one is when you bring a puzzle, let me tell you, from experience of bringing puzzles to public places, when you bring a puzzle somewhere, the first thing is they'll see you do it and they'll mind are blown and they're like, oh, let me see that. That's where the problem with this arises, because you let them see it. And then they go like, they just do all this crazy crap with it, and then you can't get it unstuck. It's just stuck there. It took me hours to get this thing unfrozen. So this is sort of like, keep it tucked away in your pocket. This is your dirty little secret. And this is like my second or third one. These Rubik's ones are terribly made, but that's okay. Here's another one. This is a Barnes & Noble one. What is this? The Magic Rings, I think. It says its name somewhere. Yeah. Missing Link. There we go. The Missing Link. Look at this. Is it the Missing Link? No one knows. But maybe we did look like this at one point. It's a neat puzzle. As you can see, I forgot how to solve it. This is one, I would solve it once in a blue moon and then be like, oh, that's how you do it, and then I can never do it again. I don't know what it is, but I am determined. I am going to figure this out again. I'm going to sit down in that basement. My beard's going to be 20 feet long, but I will come out a champion and just hold this over my head and then just think about what I've been doing. But, yeah, it's a little slidey puzzle. Slidey kind of title puzzle, and it's very neat. Besides the fact that it's impossible. Oh! Sorry, I forgot. I was going on the Rubik's brand stuff. I knew I was going to mess this video up some way or another. There's 2 more Rubik's brand puzzles. I'm not even going to mention that. I want to say Rubik's had something to do with the Missing Link, but they probably didn't. Anyway, we have 2 more to do. This is probably the stupidest of the bunch. So, the Touch Cube is stupid, but it's likable enough that you kind of forgive it. This is just dumb. So this is the Rubik's 360. What you do is you have a bunch of these little balls. They're in this center sphere here, and you got to get them out into the outer sphere from like the middle spheres. It's not really a puzzle. All it is you just smash the thing and then just hope the balls go into the pieces. Maybe there's a technique to it, but I don't know what it is. It's almost like a stress relief ball, really. It's like a big, heavy plastic stress relief ball, because instead of squeezing it, you just, all right, calm down, you know? Yeah, it's silly. I don't think they make this anymore, and there's no point. This dupes you into thinking it's cool. But this one actually is cool. It's the old Rubik's Snake, or the Twist. not really a puzzle. It's sort of like, I guess this is the solved state. You twist it out like straight, and then you put it back. I like this one a lot. It's almost stress relieving. Actually, stress relieving instead of stress inducing. Turns nice, and yeah. You can get these, I think, in both the traditional blue and white and these colors as well. Because again, Rubik's is making the cool things again. Don't worry, we're getting down to the wire here. You see, I was gonna show off my little puzzle box thingies. So here's one that I 3D printed. And I was gonna show this one off, and then it broke in my hands. And I always forget how to do it. Well, I guess this is going to be a live demonstration. Yeah, these little wooden puzzles. This is a total coffee shop item. And... oh dear, how did you do this? Okay, right. This goes in here. You see, this video is already like, you know, the longest thing in the world. So I'm trying to make it a little less long, but you do that. And, there you go, look at this, it turned into a solution video. Yeah, I like this puzzle. You can have, like, different variations of how you put it back together. Like, these could be flips, you know, so they're not even, and it's, yeah. This one's like a little rocket. You, if you hold it the right way, you can, like, launch the piece out. So, yeah, those are those. This is a Gordian's knot. You're supposed to take the pieces out. Honestly, I never was able to get into it. There's a little booklet that shows you how to do it. But it's not for me. It's very, there's only really one way to do it, and it takes forever, and it's not my cup of tea, and it sounds like a bite lock. So, almost there. I actually bought this at the same time I bought that fruit cube at, the now infamous Petaluma Fair, actually. At a sale they were doing there. Yeah, these are, this is a tile puzzle. You put the puzzles out, and you put the tiles out, these little tiles, and you have to figure out how to arrange them in certain patterns. And apparently it will drive you dizzy, so how about that? Finally, this is actually possibly the oldest puzzle I have. And it's one of these. One of those piggy bank marble puzzles. I can still do it. Yeah, it had money in it. It was a birthday gift. Thank you for putting money in it. Also, a bug has died in it. So, yeah, what a way to end a video, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that. Happy 4th if you're in the States, and if you're not in the States, happy Saturday. And have a good one. Thank you for watching.